Okay, well, this is the end of the trip. We've had 3 nights in this shelter, and I must admit, for a tent, I will say for a tent, it's done very, very well. The reservations or reservations or whatever the word is that I had at the beginning, I think eased. There was plenty of room inside. We've got to take off the crossing poles. I don't think that you need the crossing poles. I've heard enough reports of people that have this shelter and use it in, you know, quite severe weather. So I don't think that they're essential. But if you've got them, you know, it's kind of worth that little bit of extra weight for stability in a tent. And apart from, you know, maybe a small porch, which I just personally like to have more covered grass space, but that's like a personal preference. You know, in the end there was enough room for Lassie to go, as you saw. There was, you know, if I had to do the door up, there was enough room to cook in. Taking it apart was easy enough. I just undid all of these, and then the crossing pole comes out here easily enough. And while we're here, we can just loosen off that and remove that peg there. So we just undo that bit of stuff there. Now, to be honest, we probably should push your crossing pole through so that you're not pulling it, because if you pull the crossing pole, this one we probably can pull because it's the last one in there of the 2, so it comes out easily. But if you have to pull it, you might separate these and you could damage them. So, you know, just be careful when you're taking it out. We simply go and just gently, carefully pull them apart like that, and then put it carefully by your pack so you don't stand on it. And then the same with this one. Just carefully take them apart and just put it on the ground carefully and safely, somewhere where you don't stand on it, and don't stand on your walking poles over. Right, and as you know, it's secured with 6 pegs. So I would go with these Eastern pegs. Just make sure that you put them in at a little bit of an angle. The ground here is quite firm, so even though pumping it in and out here, so even though the ground, you know, even though it's loose in there, because there was quite a bit of pressure on it, you know, because it's so long, there's, you know, virtually no chance that it will come out. Right, now the bit that you need to be very careful of, and that is of course getting the main center pole out. We'll leave the back secured in place, then there's less blowing going on. So we had a bit of a job getting this in, didn't we? So Again, don't pull, push. Because you don't want the poles coming out from inside. Pull it this way. So you're threading it. It's not the easiest of things to do, but it's not really that difficult either. So just thread it off. Because you don't want to pull on the pole, because again, if you pull on the pole, you could separate the pole in the sleeve, and that's how you could end up breaking or snapping a pole. Once again, we just carefully separate it. Do it almost straight away, because if you leave it stretched out flat on the ground, when you're moving around your tent, you know, you could end up standing on it and you could break it that way. So, you know, collapse it down straight away, or, you know, as soon as you possibly can. Once you've taken pretty much everything out, you can then come to your rear end and take out the last of your poles. Now with this one, when you, right, just try and keep it ground level with it and try and stop it from wanting to take off. Now you get these legs, so put your 3 legs together here, and then get your 3 legs at the other end. So 1, 2, 3, like that. Give it a bit of a shape. So when you fold it, obviously you don't really want it any longer than the pole. So start rolling. To be honest, it's quite similar to, if you're doing Cuban fibre, it's quite similar to how you roll up Cuban fibre. Just roll it and feed it in, get the air out, so you've got a relatively tight, and then obviously you get your pouch thing, packs down to that size. So it's quite a wide size, but don't forget that's the height that you get at the ends that stops it, you know, collapsing in on your sleeping bag. And then very carefully, if you've got a pack with a big enough front, you can slip it in there, and obviously this is the other part, this is the other inner, so normally you wouldn't have that, but that shows, you know, how much, you know, any big packed front should swallow that quite easily, really. Take your rubbish with you. And then your poles, just thread down in there. And your poles attached there. And then your pegs you can put in the top. It packed away very easily, as you can see. We went through it all together. It's very simple to pack, you know. And if you're you want a tent, check out MLD first. And then obviously, you know, if you are a tent person, then, you know, it certainly is worthwhile, you know, giving it a look and seeing if it's what's you know, tickles your fancy, as it were. All right, I'm going to get going. It's coming up to 4 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, hit the notification button if Amazon links are still working. In the description, your support there would be appreciated. Just follow one of those links and buy whatever you want to buy. It would be appreciated. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye bye.